Hello, my name is Leah, and welcome to a brand new series of Victoria 3. So, yesterday, I believe, depending on how the videos air, we completed or ended the Argentina playthrough. So today, we're going to be playing as Papal States, just for the heck of it. Because we tried the hegemony in the previous playthrough. With this playthrough in mind, we're not going to go for the egalitarian society. And economic dominance is probably going to be, again, something that we'll try in the Korea once we return to there. So let's try to learn the game. I have tried it once, but actually let's select any country. So anyway, let's select Papal States and let's jump in there to have a look at how the situation is. Welcome to Age of Progress. Gregorius Capillari is Pope of Papal States. The Industrial Revolution is well underway, bringing catalytic social change along with it. More than 20 years have passed since the Congress of Vienna imposed some semblance of order upon Europe, and unrest is once again starting to brew among the great powers. It will be up to you to guide Papal States to glory over the following century. There's no one way to win in Victoria 3. You set your own goals and experience different stories in the process pursuing them. We'll skip that lesson, actually. Right, so some goals for us for this series is, one, we're going to stay as theocracy as long as possible, since in previous playthrough we went pretty far into the sort of liberal and all that. This time around I want to have plenty of authority to spare, so hence we're staying as theocracy and probably oligarchy. I don't know if we're going to be or paddle pope or not, but at the same time we're probably going to try to form Italy, or it's going to be Kingdom of Heaven, I suppose. So that's one of the things that we'll try to do. And beyond that, we don't have too many goals, quite frankly. But let's have a look at the state of affairs that we have in here. So, we've got some logging camps. We can plant some silk in our capital, which is really nice. And then, well, we can get cotton, wheat, wine, livestock. And we've got a bit of fishing. We've already got 2 paper mills in our capital there, which is quite handy. Then we've got a bit of iron in Umbria. And a bit of more logging camps in there. Some vineyards, wheat farms and cotton plantation. But over here, agriculture is a lot more scarce. And over here, we got some sulfur, or quite a bit of sulfur actually. Some logging camps and fishing, of course. Then vineyards, wheat, cotton, and livestock. So overall, we don't have a huge selection of things. We've got a little bit at least. So I think another thing that we might try to do in this playthrough is try to get all the techs researched. So one of the things that we'll need to do from fairly early on then is start increasing the innovation. And speaking of which, let's have a look at the text that we have. So right now, Napoleonic Warfare is actually spreading to us, or we're researching that, which to be fair, that's probably fine. We'll get better artillery. If we have a look at the other stuff, we don't have the paddle steamer yet, but that's about the only thing that we're not researching in military, or the tier 1 military stuff. Then in production, we got almost the entire tier 1, except lathe. So we'll probably get that one fairly soon. And in society, we are on the tier 1s, we're missing mass communication, embassy, stock exchange, and banking. And everything else we already have on tier 1. Of course, we have no tier 2 techs yet, but that's to be expected. I don't think there's a lot of nations that have any tier 2 techs from the get-go. There might be like some that have like maybe 1 or 2, but not a lot. Anywho, we do have 7 battalions, so we've got 1 flotilla. So our fleets and all that are quite small. We've got about 2.6 million population. Our GDP is almost 1.2 million. So it's not the worst. We've got a decent literary rate from the get-go. So we do get a bit of innovation at least. The standard of living isn't particularly great, but it's, it's not the worst. It's a lot better than what Tuscany has. And Tuscany is one of the nations that we'll probably try to annex. So we've got Modena. Oh, this is part of Emilia. Okay, so that's Parma, Lucca, and Modena that we need to conquer over here. Okay. If we want to combine that state completely. So what do they have there? A bit of iron, a bit of logging camps. They got a bit of industries as well in the various... Well, actually only 1 textile mill thus far in these 3. They do have some silk plantations, or possibility for silk plantations. Let's get started with the construction. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get at least 1 construction sector to start with. So increase the construction speed. If we do have a look at our laws, we've got traditionalism, which is not great. I wouldn't mind getting... Oh, right, that means that private construction allocation is only 25%. Okay. The investment pool is going to be very small, though, so that's a problem. We will want to switch away from this. And for that, we may need to... Do we have... Oh, right, we banned slavery already, so that's good. We got censorship, which is not good, but I think we can live with that for the time being. We got tenant farmers, but at least means that we don't have serfdom, but tenant farmers is also a thing that we kind of want to get rid of at some point. Land-based taxation, yeah, I suppose that's good enough. There's not a lot of laws that we can try... Actually, probably no laws that we can try passing. Got Roman Curia as the government. The landowners do have quite a bit of power. We could... Oh, wow. We could actually form up a 100% legitimate government. Sure. That would open up a bit more laws that we could try passing. We've got national militia. We might want to go for professional army, actually. Rural folk who are marginalized, admittedly, would oppose that, but armed forces and landowners would actually support it. So yeah, we'll go for that. It's just to get the less morale loss in combat will be very useful. And while it does mean that we can have less mobilized battalions, or like conscript battalions, that does mean that we can have a lot larger base army, or standing army. And honestly, for us, having a strong army is going to be probably quite important. Now, diplomacy-wise, first of all, we could actually declare an interest. I think what we'll do is we'll declare an interest in southern France. Partially, I mean, we will probably be able to do some relation improvements with France from the get-go. And that is something that we will do. And also Austria. To keep some of the big players around here happy. And then maybe we'll improve relations with Spain. Now, I don't know yet if we are going to stay independent or not. But I guess we shall see. Or rather, in terms of the market, if we're going to join someone else's market or not. I have not put any sort of definite goals for our GDP or anything like that. And this playthrough is just stay theocracy and form Italy, essentially. That's the primary goals, but we'll probably still play through the entire 100 years, more or less. Right, so we've got a construction sector underway, we've got a law being set up, we don't have a huge army yet, we do have at least one general and presumably, no, we don't have an admiral. We've only got one frigate though, so it's not really that much of a need. Let's go ahead and unpause, get things rolling. Ah, right, the journal. Open the journal panel by clicking the highlight, oh yeah. Well, I'm just gonna quickly click through this, expand the basic building. Wheat farm in Lazio to level 1. Or get an extra level in there, okay. Well, I mean, I suppose we could build an extra one in there. I think we're also going to build a silk plantation. So we can then start using silk in textile mill over here. And start producing some luxury clothing, which might be very profitable. Actually, that reminds me. Do we have anything that we could maybe sell? We've got a little bit of wine, maybe. A tiny bit of fabric, but that's not a lot. We do need a lot of liquor. So that's something that I could... oh, right, we got some traders already. Right, we're buying well, of course we're buying our military stuff. We don't really have the capability to produce it ourselves. So let's try to import some liquor then, shall we? I'm going to import that from Britain. It'll give us a bit more trading and also a bit more money, I reckon. Speaking of money, since we're not using too much yet, I think what we could do is we'll reduce the taxes for a little while. So we're going to be building the construction sector first. That is, well, it's going to take a little while to be built, but that's not too bad. So what are we getting? We're getting lathe, paddle steamer, and stock exchange. Right, I suppose after the construction sector, wheat farm, and silk plantation, we should probably start working on getting the university. Now, getting all the texts might be a bit of an unofficial goal, but we'll try to get that. We also got quite a bit of authority, so let's actually go ahead and have a look at the decrees. So I think what we'll do is we'll encourage agriculture in our capital. Then I think we'll encourage resource production in Romania with the extra sulfur production and all that. And then we'll put in manufacturing industry in Umbria. Just to sort of specialize the different states for various things. And especially over here with the iron mines, we can use that for a lot of the tool works and all that sort of stuff. So it'll be quite handy. We don't produce any coal yet. There are some areas with coal production like Venetia and Piedmont. I believe there was also some, like, no, not Campania. Calabria has coal as well, yeah. And then Sicily has a lot of sulfur. Plus, I suppose there's Sardinia with some... Oh, Sardinia's got a lot of stuff, actually. iron, lead, coal, and sulfur. And some logging, of course. There we are. That's pretty decent. Let's actually go ahead and go to speed 4. So right now we're improving relations. I think France might cause some issues. Oh, there we go. Law advances, so 61% chance of passing the law. It's pretty decent. Standard of living is increasing now that we lower the taxes a little bit. I think that's at least part of the reason. Of course, you know, the economy is starting to kick off a little bit. Probably helps as well. There we go. The construction sector will be done very, very shortly. And there we go. The private sector is now building some logging camps in Umbria. Which, to be fair, I think we probably do need them. The wood price isn't actually that high, but yeah, we will probably have a bit of need for them regardless. I don't suppose we can do the wheat. Oh, we could do some orchard farming in there. Less grain. Maybe we don't do that everywhere. But these wheat farms, for example, could use the citrus orchard, so we can get some fruits into our market. It's not a huge amount, mind you, but it will provide us with some at least. There we go, so there should be at least a bit of extra production there. We don't have any, well, we don't have a significant production of basically anything yet, but we're working on it. I suppose it's going to take a little while. Oh, there we are. Popular playwright. I think we'll take the extra prestige. That'll be very handy. We've got a fairly good chance of passing the professional army already. Also, let's put on the interest groups on the outline. I tend to keep that in there, just to keep a bit of an eye on who's happy and who's not. Who's naughty and who's not. There we are. We got 2.6 million population, so that is growing. The standard of living has even out at 9.4. Actually, what other institutions do we have? We've got a little bit of education. We've got some law enforcement and health system. Honestly, we might want to try improving both of these quite a bit. So we are getting a university after the other buildings, so it's going to take a while before we get all of that constructing, but we have no radicals yet. We have a little bit loyalists, not a huge amount, mind you. And then, well, the standard of living is increasing. The literacy rate will probably be increasing over time. The GDP is now over 1.2 million, so that is at least improving. We will want to... Oh, what's this then? This got within Intelligentsia. With their support, this bill's not passed, so it's now 75% chance of passing. There's not really a lot of chances for stall or even debate, really. So at this point, if it doesn't go forward, I'm a bit surprised. Well, the farm is almost done, so that's going to be one of the basic buildings at least completed. So we'll try to do the learn the game just for the heck of it. I don't know how many stages there are to this. Also, you know, go little by little. Oh, the private sector is building 2 logging camps in Umbria. I suppose another thing that we should really do in here is get the tuning workshop. We'll do that after the university. We're currently losing a tiny bit of money, but it's very small, so I'm not too worried about it. Especially once we get the wheat farms in here, that'll probably help already. Oh, there we go. Low progress to amendments. And then... Oh, right, there is quite a bit of demand for wood now with the construction sector. Plus, I suppose... Well, the construction sector is 75, so yeah, without that, we'd be meeting our demand already. Now, since we don't have a lot of tools being produced yet, it's, the sawmills is not something we can really go for quite yet, but we're going to fix that soon enough. Overall in the world, I think Austria is going to be a bit of a problem in the vicinity, and France is going to be a bit of a problem in the vicinity. But if we keep good relations with them... Oh, there we are. Building expanded. Expansion of the wheat farms in Lazio you ordered some time ago is now complete. The building can now support a larger workforce and produce more goods. You also will no longer have to pay weekly material costs for the goods required in its expansion. The rate by which you can order expansion of buildings across Papal states is limited by a construction sector, which can be expanded in exactly the same way as industries. Having construction sector building in the same state as the building under construction will increase construction efficiency. Yeah, I kind of knew that, admittedly, but we'll just go through this regardless. Oh, change the production method in... Oh, any production method in here, okay. I mean, I suppose we could go for the citrus orchards. I mean, it's a little bit less grain. I suppose does mean a bit more for... Oh, right, it takes all the grain production away. Okay, that's not necessarily ideal. Alright, so need to go for... Oh, routing speech, captures the public. I guess we'll take the 15% chance. So now it's 90% chance of passing. So that should be at least... yeah, that will be done soon. So we might switch this one back to maintaining single crops soon enough. Oh, there we go. Expand a productive building. Logging camp, okay. Level 3. Sure, first of all, we're going to switch this one back to the maintaining single crop for the time being. And then I guess we'll go ahead and build the logging camp there. We don't have a huge production or construction speed yet, but partially we are having a bit of a lack of wood, quite frankly. So we don't initially want to build up too much of construction success quite yet. I could probably try to join in some other market, but we'll try to stay independent for at least a little bit. Now, one of the things that I was looking a little bit about potential strategies. So one of the things that people recommend a lot is building up a lot of art academies or building up a lot of textile mills to produce a lot of luxury clothing to get a lot of prestige through the being leading producer in it. Oh, there we go, low process voting. Very good. So first we'll need to get the silk plantation. After that we can probably go ahead and upgrade this one. So how much do we produce now? It's 45 clothing. So that would be 15 clothing and 30 luxury clothing. That might not be a huge amount of profit. That could be still kind of handy in the long run. Is there anything that we could maybe export? We could try exporting some wine, maybe. Although the productivity is too low, so it's not really worth it. Got a bit of sugar, but we'll probably go ahead and get ourselves a food industries in due time, which we might build up in our capital, actually. If we do have a look at... Okay, so about half the population is in Lazio, so in our capital. And then in the north, in Romania, it's got 800,000, and this one's already 450,000, so it's not a huge amount. Oh, and there we go, we've got professional army now. And that's one of the things that we might need to have a look at is, actually, what is the military that we have? I suppose it's mostly just light infantry. Yeah, we've got cannon artillery. Wait, no, we've got mobile artillery, but oh, I can't build mobile artillery yet, but we got some of it already. Arms industry is another thing that we'll need to build up over time. Oh, rule focus, oh, they're rather upset. Tech spread is reduced, which is not great. There we go, silk plantation has been built. Let's go ahead and activate the craftsmanship over here. So that will provide us a decent bit of luxury clothing. And actually, we've still got a whole lot of authority in here, so let's put in a quick little consumption tax. Maybe we could put in the liquor tax. So we have a silk production shortage, or silk shortage right now, but as soon as the silk plantation is up and running, which might take a little while. Wait, is there... No, there's plenty of peasants in here. But they're not hiring. Oh, there we are. Now they are. They're not hiring a huge amount, mind you, but it'll be fine. So we've got low organization in the Navy, but that's alright. We don't really need it quite yet. We've got a bit of expensive wood and clippers. And small arms, but right now, wood is something we are going to be producing more and more. We're currently building the university, then we'll get the tooling workshop, then we'll get the logging camp, I suppose, and that way we can complete another set of the, or step on the tutorial, so to speak. Again, I don't think I really need it, but since it's one of the achievements to complete the tutorial or learn the game thing, might as well give it a try. It seems like Russia is doing a war over here. Oh, right, yeah, they've got various subjects in there. So once we form Italy, we might also, you know, try to take Tripolitania and maybe even go to Ethiopia. We'd probably want to take Eritrea first, because that would be kind of the more historical way, and then, of course, take some... There's like Galeri, and, well, take basically at least part of Somaliland. But we are not gonna go, like... quite historical Italy in all the things. Mainly the government is going to be theocracy and all that. But also, I don't know if we'll be forming Italy in historical time frame. Actually, so nationalism is one of the things that we'll need to form. How far down? Oh, it's down there. Actually, it's not really that far. We'll need the mass communication, then we could research it already. We're currently working on the Napoleonic Warfare. We'll also get the paddle steamer, which having both of those is not bad necessarily. Oh, there's, okay, in that poor laws, there's quite a bit of support for it. Both from the industrialists and trade unionists. Who would oppose that? Mostly the landowners. Oh, trade unionists endorse that, but it's still, technically speaking, radicalized them. Similarly, industrialists are a bit of a problem there. Well, maybe we won't need to worry about those quite yet. We've got plenty of authority, so the enactment time is reduced quite drastically at least. Is there any other laws that we might want to pass instead? There's... Oh, no, we don't want to go back to consumption-based taxation. These two we probably want to keep as is. Appointed bureaucrats is good enough. We could try go for the dedicated police force, which would reduce the landowner's power a little bit further. I think we'll actually try that. It might not pass. We'll give it a go at least. So we got still at least a lot more loyalists than we have radicals. But of course, the radical numbers are slowly growing. And it seems... Okay, it's going to take another 18 weeks for the university. How are we doing on the market now? Wood price is still a bit elevated. There's definitely need for more liquor. Now, we will probably start producing our own liquor sooner or later. We don't have any glass or porcelain production yet. But dyes are something that we can't produce in here. So we'll have to import that from somewhere else. Now, there are probably quite a few... Actually, let's have a look at that, shall we? I mean, I suppose there's going to be like... Oh, water bait failed. Okay, that's bad. It's more of a southerly thing. Like, I suppose in Ethiopia there is a bit of dye. So actually, that's one way to get dyes. Bunker there. I'm pretty sure that places like... yeah, no. North Africa is not quite suitable for that. So I think it's just, you know, closer to the equator where we can find the dyes. So we'll get that sorted. In the meanwhile, we've gotten already 1 extra level of logging camps in Umbria, and we're still getting another 2. So I guess the private sector is just focusing on getting more logging camps, which, you know, helps, I suppose. Now, just for the heck of it, we might want to go and take Jerusalem back, but, oh, debate fail again. Oh, wow. Okay, I guess we won't be passing this one. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and stop that for now. It's not going anywhere. We could try passing the poor laws, to be fair. It's got quite a bit of support. Of various, well, marginalized groups mainly, but we'll give it a go. Maybe that will help a little bit with the standard of living as well. Now, one of the things that we could do is we could put in another consumption tax for the luxury clothing, for example, and then lower these taxes further. We'll be losing a bit of money. Maybe we can put in the wine tax and luxury furniture tax. So we'll have a lot of luxury taxes, which will cost us a lot of authority, mind you. But we can keep the base tax pretty low, so legitimacy is going to be fairly high, and standard of living is hopefully going to be fairly high. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be all that high. We do have a few urban centers. We don't have coal to use for that, and we don't really have the glass to use for market squares either. So it's not very effective production there right now. There we go. We've got the university built. That's going to give us a bit more innovation. It's not a huge amount yet, but we will be increasing that over time. Right now, it's just we'll wait until that is at least completed, and maybe we'll build a few other things. But we will be building universities pretty much everywhere. Oh, there we go. Law progress amendment already. I think I might actually want to build the iron mine in here. Since the tooling workshop will be done soon, that's going to allow us to increase the wood production a lot, among other things. And actually, how much is that going to be producing? It doesn't say there, but if we have a look at through the industry... should produce 30 with just wood. So that would be enough to at least get the logging camps working on the sawmills then. That is going to be doubling the wood production, which will lower the wood price quite a bit, which probably will not only help with the standard of living a little bit, but also allow us to do a lot of other productions like furniture and that sort of things. Actually, we're still importing luxury clothing, aren't we? Yeah, we don't really need that one anymore, do we? Because we produce it ourselves. There we go, that's one less straight route. And there we go, the university is already fully employed. Still going to take about 5 months with the Napoleonic warfare, mind you. Prisons of the poor. Some social reformers among the intelligentsia have posted out against the proposed poor laws, with them as an attempt to make poverty itself a crime. We want to take a minus 10% chance, and intelligentsia gets a minus 2, which to be fair, they're already quite upset. I suppose it won't get any worse with the modifiers there. So I think we'll take that one. Which, yeah, it might mean a bit more radicals and all that, but we'll live with it for now. As long as we can keep the laws progressing, that's probably the main thing. Does the private sector know? It's just keeping on building more logging camps. I mean, I suppose there's not a huge amount of investment in there yet, so they might not really think of building industries or anything like that quite yet. But I suppose one of the things that we could build in here, what do we have currently queued up? So with the iron mine, logging camp in our capital, and of course the tooling workshop. So what we could do is probably go ahead and build the furniture manufacturer in here. Because we'll have a decent bit of logging in here. I mean, it's not a huge amount of logging, but we'll have some in there. That will already help. The wheat farm over here isn't quite profitable, but it'll do for now. I suppose we'll just speed up a little bit to get some of the construction done. The early game, the speed 5 on even on my PC works mostly fine. Oh, we're already in the last station of the poor laws. We're losing a little bit money, but we've got over 150,000. Well, basically, we can keep this going for a few years still. At least 2 to 3 years. And of course, once we get a bit more buildings done, that might improve the situation even further, so it's not actually as bad as it seems. Houses of Faith. Propose the prospect of workhouses, including religious instructions in their work, has allowed the proposal of poor laws to gain favor within the Roman Curia. We can get 20% chance. The Jewish in Papal states become more radical. How much do we have? Non-Catholics. Catholics make 99.8%, so I don't think that's going to be a huge issue. Or we can get just plus 10%. I think we'll take the plus 20% chance of passing law. Another logging camp should be done fairly shortly in Umbria. We're also getting the tuning workshop there right now. And also Napoleon of Warfare is completed. There we are. Oh, right. Select the technology to reach. Oh. Well, that's going to be easy. Let's go ahead and get a lathe. Because that's going to be allowing us to increase the production of clothing, among other things. So that should be, well, it's already going to be just a matter of a few months before it's completed. So after all of these buildings, I think it might be, well, if we can increase the wood production a lot, which we are doing already. Ooh, law advancement, there we go, 63% chance of passing now. That's pretty decent. Are we, right, we're building the iron mine manually. There's still another logging camp level over there. Is there anything else that the private sector is building? Oh, cotton plantation in Romania, okay. Oh, I do need a little bit of fabric, I suppose. It's not all bad, especially for the textile mill in here, which uses 15 silk, which we have a little bit extra in the market. Not a huge amount, mind you, we've got still some at least. Oh, another law advancement, okay, 78%. If it won't pass, then I don't know when it will. The wheat farms over here are slowly hiring again. I suppose we've got decent enough food right now, so don't need to worry about it too much. I do wonder, actually, is there any diplomatic actions that we're... Well, actually, we've done the improve relations already. We'll just go ahead and improve relations with Britain. Maybe even Prussia. And just out of curiosity, is there... Customs Union? No, I don't think I can form one. I could maybe make trade agreements, but most of them wouldn't agree on that either. I could join Customs Union, but actually most of these wouldn't even take me in right now. We could rival someone. Maybe someone like Tuscany. Or someone like Medina. I'll take Medina. Because Medina doesn't have a lot of an army, though they? They've got 4+2. Now, we did unlock the mobile artillery, but we already had that. But at least we could now expand it further if need be. Now, that being said, we don't have a huge army. We've got 7 battalions total, which is quite small, mind you. But at least there's the tooling workshop. We can go ahead and switch the... Well, let's start getting a tiny bit of production there. Now we can go ahead and switch these to use sawmills. That's going to cause a bit of shortage on tools for the time being. But it will at least give it enough reason to hire enough people to ramp up the production, and that'll fix some of the issues. So we've got the poor laws now. That's probably going to... Well, first of all, it's going to take a little bit of bureaucracy. But it's... 20% welfare payments, that is going to improve the standard of living a little bit. It's not going to be a huge bonus there. But at least it's better than nothing. We could potentially increase the law enforcement. Although I don't think we have a lot of turmoil yet, so that might not be a huge penalty or huge boost for us yet. We could try passing the colonial resettlement, for example, but that would radicalize the rule folk, which is not necessarily something we want to do. We don't want to get the bad stuff from there. We don't want to go back to serfdom. And the taxation, we don't want to go back on that either. So right now, law-wise, we don't have a huge amount of things to do. That's alright. Not going to go for the liberal route that much this time around. Oh, there's the lathe unlocked. And we completed tech research. Right, the next thing, we might want to go ahead and get the stock exchange. And maybe in the military we'll get the paddle steamer completed. And after that, we'll see what starts spreading in production. We'll go ahead and do the rotation again, for the most part. Oh, Bessemer process is spreading, okay. We'll add that to the process. So that's gonna... Oh, right, yeah, we could have steel mills already. We haven't built this because we don't have coal production. So the tooling workshop, we could potentially switch to the iron tools, but we don't want to do that quite yet, actually, because we don't have the iron mine built. And of course, the tools are still very much low in production. We're producing 2 right now. We're going to be hiring a lot of people. But that will get sorted out over time. So that should also mean that the wood price is going to be quite a bit reduced, actually. It's a little bit. So we've got 52 extra, so that might actually be enough to build ourselves another construction sector. Put that in there, but I do also see that we are actually out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe if you haven't already. Also got the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.